podcast about going inside, knowing ourselves, taking time out for ourselves now. With the corona situation, we have no other option. So let's make the best use of this thing that we have got. So the first insight and the key that we are talking about here is meditation. Some of you have heard, any of you have heard about meditation before? Yeah, you have heard, right? So I see some in the chat also. So let me tell you how I came across this meditation technique and what different experiences that I had gone through in my life. Okay. So a few years ago, I was in Texas, USA. It was in 2011. And I chose a particular university, which was Texas Arlington, to study masters, to study electrical engineering. And then I went to this university called University of Texas at Arlington. It was a wonderful campus, was a very huge campus, and there were so many other departments, different departments to study different things. So I studied electrical, and some of the other students, I found out that they were studying something in arts, some was studying something in psychology, someone was studying philosophy, and some was studying management and business, so many things. And what happened, interestingly, is I had so much work to do, so many studies, like in your school also, we have so many studies, science and maths. And as we go ahead in engineering also, we have so many things to do. So I was always burdened with lot of work. And when I used to walk from campus, from my lecture to my apartment, I used to see people very nicely enjoying going around in the campus in their bicycles and very happy and chit-chatting with friends. And I was thinking, why just me? Why I have to stress so much and why they are so happy? So they looked happier. So I think I really have to look, to find out what my interests are. I think I have to do something more, something different than what I'm doing right now. I think that will make me happy. So while doing that, so these are some three interesting pictures. The left side picture is of the apartment, and the right side two small pictures that you see are the reasons why I locked down myself in the apartment. So I'll explain you in a short while. So this was, right now we are having this compulsory lockdown. For me in Texas, USA, when I was there, by choice, I locked down myself in the apartment. So the reason on top, you see the picture, is Texas was very hot. So, Texas is considered like a desert in USA, and it's hotter even than Pune. Now you can imagine, we all stay in Pune, and we know the summers in Pune are so hot. And Texas summers the temperatures go till 45 degrees Celsius or even more, and it's very dry there. So of course in USA, they calculate the temperature in Fahrenheit scale, so it goes above 100. So in this summer in Texas, when I was there, it was 2013. At that time, the summer was extremely hot. The outside temperature of the apartment was very hot. And you see the picture below is how I was interacting with my friends. This is how I was not able to gel with them. There were so many disagreements. And when you see right now, you're all in 9th and 10th and you're staying at home. And when we grow up, then sometimes we have to go out of the house and we live with different friends and different people. Then everybody has different habits, and somebody is very lazy, somebody is very active, somebody in the apartment you're staying with, he's playing loud noise, he's playing music with loud noise, and you're not able to focus. And then we were in Texas, and at that time, we had friends from all over India. Somebody was from north side of India, somebody from South India, and we all like different foods to eat, but we are all staying together in the same place. So you can imagine so many confusions and so many different choices we had. So I could not gel with friends. But I thought, now, I have to do this. I have to find out what I like to do, and I really have to work on myself. So what I did is I just engrossed myself in a lot of books. Of course, this is not me. This is just a picture. But I was surrounded with a lot of books, and I started reading a lot, even on Google and YouTube's and all the books that I could gather. So while going through these lot of books together, I came across a concept called mindfulness. So I found this was very interesting concept as I was going through trying to know what my strengths were and what I really like to do. Uh, so it talked about mindfulness. So let me tell you what exactly is it. So mindfulness, by definition, it is a practice or an ability to observe our thoughts and feelings without any judgment, which means that when you are getting so many different thoughts, a National Science Foundation, it's a government agency in America, the research in that agency says that on an average, a person gets 60 to 80,000 thoughts per day. So you can imagine how many thoughts we are continuously getting. And not all those thoughts are always important. Sometimes they are in past, sometimes they are in future. So, and also the feelings. Sometimes we fight with our friends, fight with parents, and which we should not do, but sometimes it happens. So, so many feelings we get, and then we are not able to focus in whatever we want to do. We are not able to enjoy the moment. So, this is what mindfulness is. So let me give you an example of how we judge our thoughts and our feelings. So imagine that, let's say we want to travel somewhere and we want to go in a bus or a train, and the train is very crowded. So there are a lot of people in the train. So we stand outside the train and we are immediately thinking, oh, the train is so crowded and there are so many people. How can I go? This is so bad. You know? So this is one thought, like this is a judgment towards whatever we are seeing in our environment. Instead of saying how crowded it is and how bad it is, we can say like, oh, there are 50 people in one compartment today. So, we can simply say a number, and there are a lot of people and I have a little less space, a very small space to just stand. And then I can travel. So the thing is, either we can judge it and say the situation is very bad and get frustrated, or we can just say this is the situation, but I still have to carry on. So this is what mindfulness is. And why do we do it? As I mentioned, there are so many thoughts coming in our minds. And also because of that, we are not able to stay in the present moment. Like we are always either in the past or thinking about the future. So past is, let's say you failed in some exam. I wish you don't. But let's say if you have that, and then now you have to give another paper. Now you're so sad and you lost your confidence and you're constantly thinking about that now. So this failure, the stress that comes from that, and the fears that comes from that always stay in your mind. So then you remain in the past. And what about future? In future, you're constantly worrying about your results. You're constantly worrying what will happen. If this happened, then I'll be sad. If this happened, then I'll be happy. And because of that now, you're not able to focus. So this also helps us to be in the present moment. And other thing is, yeah, emotions and our relationships. When we are, when we have these negative emotions, when we are angry, when we get frustrated or irritated, then we are not able to interact with other people very nicely. You know? So, but with this techniques of mindfulness, we're able to interact with others very nicely, and we're able to keep our calm and cool. So the third point comes, by the way, how are we going to do it? So I understand as mindfulness is we can observe our thoughts and feelings without judgment and without taking any action on it. But how are we going to do it? So, but how to do this mindfulness? How to be mindful? There are different techniques. The meditation, as we discussed, is one of the techniques, mindfulness meditation. And in the meditation, there are different other techniques, which are, one is breathing meditation. We just consciously breathe. We are breathing all the time, but most of the time it's just unconscious. So by simply focusing on our breath, we become calm. Like there is calm in the mind, and we can focus very well, and we become peaceful. So one is breathing meditation, other is body scan meditation. We simply sit in a comfortable posture, and then we understand that what are the different sensations and feelings I'm getting on different parts of my body, my hands, my legs, my head, my shoulders, etc. So this is body scan. One is environment scan. Just we sit down peacefully, and then we hear different sounds that are coming from the environment, different things that we usually don't get to see in the environment because we don't pay attention to details. So that's another part. And another is guided meditation, where we sit down and then we do different visualizations, which can make us very peaceful and happy too. So there are many different types of meditations that we can do that can help us. And what are the benefits? So as we discussed, so if you see, just like your body needs needs a relaxation. When you work too hard, when you're constantly doing different things, then your body needs rest. Then your body needs good food, your body needs good diet, and sometimes you go to gym to keep your body fit. Similarly, this mindfulness can act as a fitness routine or a mental gym. It's like a gym for the mind, this meditation techniques that we all discussed. So the benefits being, it is actually scientifically also observed in different universities now, that it can help you with your stress. It can help you with, now the stresses that we have right now is of our studies and of our exams and of different things with friends and whatnot. So it can help you with the stress. It can help you to keep your mind very calm and peaceful. And not just that, but it can also make you creative and productive, so and happy. And the important benefit is you remain in the present moment, right? So as you remain in the present moment, you're able to enjoy the moment very well. So yes, so those are the different benefits that we discussed of mindfulness and keeping the calm. Now there is one story that comes of two monks and a girl. So most of you might be knowing this story, I think. So there was once a senior monk and a junior monk, and so it's a Zen story. Um, Zen comes from Japan, and they were walking together. And once they came near a river, and as they came near a river, they wanted to cross the river, and they saw a beautiful girl there. Now, the girl there, she said, I also want to cross the river. Can you help me? And this junior monk, he just saw at the senior monk, now what are we going to do? Because the monks are not allowed to touch in this, their Zen practice. They were not allowed to touch women. So he he looked at the senior monk in surprise, what he's going to do now. So the senior monk picked up the girl, put her on his shoulders, and started walking across the river. So this junior monk walked along with him, and he was extremely surprised. He didn't know what he was doing. And he was breaking some rule or something. So they kept on walking, and they crossed the river. And then he kept the girl down, and she walked her on her journey, and they walked on their journey. And this junior monk was extremely surprised. They kept on walking, but he did not say anything. And like that, they just kept on walking in the jungle ahead. And after 1 hour passed, this junior monk suddenly looked at this senior monk and said, what did you do just now? You carried a girl on a shoulder. We are not even supposed to touch a woman or a girl. And this the senior monk looked at him and he said, yes, I carried, but then I put her down near the river after we crossed the river. But I think you are still carrying her. So this you might be knowing, but this conclusion of this is, how we are carrying these thoughts, whatever of all the events and experiences that happens of the past in our mind. And that's when we are not able to focus. So we see this monk, he could do that activity and then he could just focus on his next activity and go ahead. But for this junior monk, it was always in his mind. And that's why he would not be able to focus and do that. So this is a story that comes. Yeah. So as I mentioned, through these techniques of mindfulness and meditation that I was researching on and found when I was in Texas, I started to practice them and I started to put them into action in my life experience. So these are two pictures here. One is of table tennis and one is of the bridge in San Francisco. So I planned to just travel all around America, and because I had few friends in different places, so I just sat down one day and bought tickets to Louisiana. I had one friend there, then Portland, and then California, and then Minneapolis, where I was supposed to go and start my job. And what I did, I said, let me use this mindfulness in my life. So when I traveled and when I met my friends, we all planned for different trips together. And in the trips, what I found when I sat with friends, that I was simply trying to focus and enjoy the moment, enjoy the scenery around me, and enjoy what we were eating and everything, being in the present moment. And I found that my friend, they kept looking at the phone. They kept looking at phone and said, "Hey, we have to go here, and after this we go there, and then we go to that spot, and then we get our food from there." I said, "Hey, hang on! Like we have to be here now. We have just arrived here. This is the first time we are visiting this beautiful place. So how can you enjoy if you're constantly thinking about where you want to go next?" So I really saw that in friends. I saw that who ever were constantly anxious about future, what will happen, will we reach in time, this will happen. They were constantly anxious and they could not focus on their interaction with other friends. But the people who were always focused, enjoying the present moment, they had good interactions with others and they enjoyed the moment. And they also had all the experiences stored in their mind, so we can relish it even then, even in future. But otherwise, the experiences are lost. If you're lost, if you're not present, then the experiences are also lost. So, and table tennis, of course, I was a very avid table tennis player. Like I loved playing table tennis in America and in my college. So there I definitely found, now how I applied this thing to my sports is, I remember before I used to get scared and I used to think about who will win and who will lose. So when I would start playing, I would say, "Oh, I have to win. I have to make these many points, and I have to play this shot well. Otherwise, what others will think?" Like that. So when I started using this, I said, "No, now I have understood. I have to focus in this moment." So I started. Let me just focus on this one point at a time. Let me just see how can I play this one point very well, and even if I lose the point, it's okay. That's not going to affect my next point. So it affects only if you stay in the past. But then I started, okay, let me focus, and winning or losing, that's later, but let me focus and enjoy the game. And I actually felt that my game was improving, and I could even beat some good players, the players who are above you. They are compared to higher rating players. So that I could see in my different travels and my different activities that I did. So I just wanted to mention this one technique to you, that how it can help in different areas. For us, some of us could be sports, some of us it could be arts, for like studies mainly, of course, and our friends and relationships. But when we are focusing on the moment and not getting stressed out because of the thoughts and the feelings of past and future, then it works, right? It's nice. So after that, of course, introspection. As I told you, I started with I wanted to know what I really like to do, because I'm doing this studying and engineering, and of course I liked engineering. It's not that I did not like, and I did well in the engineering, but I was also looking for something more. I had different interests, so I really started to introspect. Now, as your mind is peaceful and calm, now you want to know that what are your strengths and weaknesses. So as you see, this is a photo of a flight. So I just sat down with a friend, and there I discussed with him that, hey, I have to really take this step now, and I'm going to India, and this was in 2015 in America. I just told him, so, "Hey, why are you going to India?" He said, I told him that I went around the places and I did different activities, and I'm doing good in my job, but there is something I want to do more. And I have started to see that I have some interest in arts, and I want to be more and pursue that as a choice, as an expression, or as a career or something like that. So I took a flight to India. I took that step, and then as you see, I started a short career, or my explored my interest in films. So films, I did a lot of short films and tried to be an assistant director for films. So here also in films, I saw that there were different areas in films. So not that if you like creativity or if you like arts, that means it's just like one career that you would like. In that career, you would see there are different areas. In film, there was direction, there was acting, there was editing, there was photography, cinematography, and there was production, different things. So I started exploring even in that, and even still being in films, I did not feel that I could explore, like I could use all my strengths and all my interest here, because slowly as I experimented, I realized that I have interest to share knowledge, to speak with people, to help people, and also had interest in creativity and arts, but also there is interest to help people in a different way. So then, of course, as you see now, I've been doing after that, I've been doing some teaching and counseling. And this is where I feel good, I'm happy to share the knowledge and use the creativity and help others with this. So this is where I transitioned from different careers and different things I did. And so all the insights I'm sharing. Uh, this is one quote from Socrates that I always like to live by, and how it is helpful in everyone's life also. The unexamined life is not worth living. He says, always, even if you are doing whatever you're doing, you should always examine the life. Examine, is it good for you? Is it helping you, live a good life, live a happy life? There is another interesting quote that I like is from Mark Twain, a great author from America. He says, "Do not let your schooling interfere your education." So I would like to add one word to that. It's self-education. We have to know ourselves. So we should not let our schooling. Our schooling has a lot of different subjects and a lot of other things to do. But the self-education we will always get through doing these different things, and through understanding insights from others who have experience in this field, knowing about our own minds and things like that. So yeah, how to find your strengths and weaknesses. This was our next point, the introspection. So through introspection, we are able to see the strengths and weaknesses we have. So the first thing is of course, we talked about mindfulness. The mindfulness can lead us to know ourselves better and to be in the present moment. Then another criteria for this is learning about personality types. This was one interesting thing that I found out, that how there are different people with different personalities. Somebody is a good singer, somebody is a good performer, and somebody is good in engineering, different things. We have personality types. But what do you do once we get this theory? We have to do some experiments, right? And especially now, as we are all at home and we have a lot of time at our expense, what we can do, we can take up new courses, we can take up new hobbies, or whatever hobbies we have, we can spend some good time on it, right? So, and the last thing is also we can take guidance from our teachers, mentors means these are our teachers, could be our parents, and any experienced people who can give us guidance in these areas and different things. Right, yeah. So you can, there are different personality theories, but throughout my experience and going through different personality quizzes and this thing, I can tell you about these four major orientations that our personality has. See if you find it something interesting here. So one is knowledge oriented person, other could be people oriented, third could be project oriented, and the fourth is task oriented. Now, let me give you an example. If you see in the picture, let's see, this picture is of an IT company. So a knowledge oriented person, what he would do is he would come with ideas and he would do a lot of research and he would do analysis of what would be a great mathematical and engineering idea that I can give to the world, and he would just put up his presentation and he would write up his different documents and he would present the idea. What the people oriented person would do, he would say, okay, we have a great idea, but then we need good people, we need a good team to execute this. So, and he likes people. He likes to know the talents of people. So, so who can this person be in the IT company? Could be HR, you know, HR or team managers also sometimes. You know, they want to build a team and they want to make sure the team is happy so that they can execute this great research and analysis done by this, you know, knowledge-oriented guy like this. So, who is the project-oriented person? The project-oriented person is the salespeople. Now you got this IT company and we have this great idea, but who is going to sell this product? We got to sell this product. IT company has to make some money. So these are project oriented people. Project oriented people need to have goals. They said everything is good, but what is the money that we are getting? How much money we are getting? Are we doing the project very well? Is it going according to the timeline? And that's what they focus on. That's their strength. You know? So, and the task oriented person, everything is there, but who will actually going to do the task? Who is going to fix the computers? Who is going to, you know, write the software and everything? So the task oriented person, he's an expert in a particular task. He says, I'll just focus on the task. Let the other person sell the product. Let the other person build the team and let someone else do the research and come up with ideas. So I hope you're able to relate something related to this. So if you're able to relate, you can say yes, type in the chat box. You can say yes, this is something interesting. And this you also find in different areas. This is not just IT company. You can find in any area. You can find even in businesses. These same different types of personalities you will see. And from this, we get to understand that what are our strengths, what are our weaknesses. So yeah, so this is why what I wanted to share. And going ahead, actually, we are going to have some interesting kind of a short course on this. So this model takes you to a concept called Ikigai. If some of you have attended the session on careers without barriers, you might have come across this, right? Yeah, some of you had attended and you had come across this Ikigai model. So this is a Japanese model, and the meaning of this Ikigai is reason for being, or how can person be really happy and he lives a purposeful life. So there are 4 intersections here. The first is passion. That means what you love to do and what you're good at. The profession is what you're good at and what you can be paid for. That becomes your profession. The vocation is what you can be paid for and also the world needs it. And your mission is what you love to do and you can give for so many people in the world, like that. And when all of this comes together and the intersection of all these sets, a union of all these sets, as you say in mathematics, is called Ikigai. So when we find this, the passion we talked about is our strengths and weaknesses and what we are good at. And then we have to become good at that. Means if you know that this is your strength, then you take up a course, you take up a hobby on that and become good at it so that you can make it into a profession. And then you can make it into a mission. You know, it's like I can use this and I can help people with this, like that. So some of you, of course, you're all knowing Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerberg. These are some great CEOs of the companies. I would like to give their examples as, you know, people who could, who were very close or who are close to this Ikigai. You know, they were good at what they were doing. They found their strengths and that was their mission. They gave this, their knowledge and their ideas, they could implement and give it to so many people. And they were, of course, paid very heavily for this. So yeah, so this is one Ikigai model. We go next. Yeah, this is our 3rd key. So our first key was meditation. Second was introspection, which gave us our strengths and weaknesses. 3rd is connection. Connection is with, of course, connection with whom? Connection with people and good relationships. So the first type of relationship that you want to have is with close friends, with friends who are of your age and who are like-minded individuals. You know, who you can share your heart with, you know, you can express them, you can communicate, you know, what you're going through, bad times and good times, and also you can take their help. And because they're like-minded, they also share the same interests that you have. And then you're inspired. Hey, I have this group of friends who do the same things. So I'm inspired to do this different things now. Be it courses or hobbies. If you're just alone, then it sometimes becomes difficult. But if you have 2 or 3 or more, then you're more happy. And the Another connection or a relationship that we must have is from an elder, is from a mentor, as I said, is from a teacher, from a person who is experienced, or a parent, somebody like that, because they are experienced. And whenever we need some help, we can go to them and ask, what am I doing wrong? Should I improve? And how should I go ahead? They show us the way, they show us the path. So these three types, as I mentioned, one, yeah. So first is with the self, of course, three types of relationships, three types of connections with the self. The first 2 points we talked about, they take care of this, the meditation part, the mindfulness part, and the introspection part, knowing your strengths. So we take care of the self, before doing anything. First, we need to take care. And another is like-minded individuals and friends. And third is experienced people who can give us who can give us the knowledge and guidance. Now there is one interesting 75-year Harvard study on what makes humans happy. You can find that on internet, and there is a TED talk also on it. So in brief, what this 75-year-old Harvard study says, it says that one thing that makes human beings really happy is relationships, is close relationships, is heart-to-heart relationships. So this was very wonderful to know to so many people, because this study then was showed at a big scale, and people got to know about the importance of relationships. Yeah, and the fourth key, the last key for today, is action. So we know now that our mind is peaceful, and we know our strengths, and we have good relationships. We know the theory, but how to put it into action? Because finally we have to put it into action, right? Like, for example, imagine if you have a Mercedes Benz at your home, in your parking lot, and you take a very good care of your Mercedes Benz. Very nice. It's the engine inside the Mercedes Benz is just fine, is running smooth, and the car is beautiful. But you don't take the car outside. You never drive the car. It never goes out of a parking lot. So what's the use of Mercedes Benz if the Mercedes Benz does not go anywhere, right? It's just sitting in the parking lot. I have Mercedes Benz, very nice car, very beautiful, powerful, but doesn't go anywhere. And I see some beautiful pictures here also of cars. Some BMW is there, other car is there on your profile picture. So good. So that it's like that, right? So if you see, we are like these cars. We take care of our minds. Our bodies are healthy. Our mind is healthy, and we don't do anything with this. So the last key is action. How will you put this into action? So there's a simple picture that I found. This is, there is nothing more powerful than a habit. So if you see there is a small tree, then the tree grows, and the tree grows bigger. So when the tree grows, it can grow only if you consistently water it every single day. So that's like consistently developing a habit to grow, right? So the power of habits, as I mentioned, is a big, it's a famous book that many have read. And in the power of habits, they mention a very nice thing. It's called a circle. It's called cue, routine, and a reward. So I'll tell you what this cue, routine, and reward is. First, but before that, I'll tell you how do we start with this power of habits. First, we have to define a goal, right? We have to do something. For example, marathon. You want to run a marathon, and now you are a lazy fellow. You are just sitting. I'm usually not that very excited to run and do something. So I'm also a lazy fellow. So I want to just sit and relax, sit in the bed and do just drink something, chit chat with friends like that. But now somebody gives me a goal. I want to go for a marathon. I want to run. Then how do I do this? So first, a goal is there. Then I set up a cue. Now the cue means I want to know that tomorrow, I want to make sure tomorrow morning, early morning, I want to go for a run. I want to practice running. Then I set up my shoes and my clothes and everything in my living room, even the day before, the night before. So I have a cue. When I see it in the morning, I know I have to do something with those clothes and those shoes because they are kept there. So that's like a cue. And when I wear those, then I go for my morning run. Then I go for a run and I do my routine. And then I come back and then there is some reward, because now I actually do not like this, but still I have to do this. So let me get some reward. So reward is you can, have a relax break. You can have your coffee and your breakfast and your juice and whatnot, and you can just relax and you can be just happy that you have done something good today. And when you start doing this again and again and again, it creates a loop. It actually says that it rewires your brain. It forms a different patterns in your brains. This Power of Habit book talks about this, that your brain starts, creating new patterns. And even the thing that you felt very boring now becomes easy because you followed it for a long time. Uh, and you see this in everyone's life, even in great CEOs, entrepreneurs, and artists, they all follow a particular habit. They have morning routines. So I have shared a link here. In CNBC, they studied successful people. They studied for 5 years, and they saw that they all had routines. In the morning, they would get up early, then they would do their exercise. They would keep it as priority. And then they would read a good book. Then they would plan their day. And then they would spend time on themselves, mental time and physical time. And then they would meet their friends, or they would meet their like-minded people so that they can get inspired, like that, so on and so forth. So they had good habits. And usually this bad habit, if we have these bad habits of being lazy and eating too much, eating junk food and things like that, we all have sometimes. So we can, the study says in this book is, we have to replace it with a good habit. We cannot replace it so easily because it's so much wired in our brain, right? So it's difficult to just get rid of it. Don't do this, and it doesn't work. We cannot just say don't do this. So we replace it with a good habit. So yeah, so like that, and as I mentioned, habits actually rewire the brain, and it takes less power. It's like, the CPU, the mobile phone. When we are watching the phone and doing so many things on the phone, there are so many apps running in the background sometimes. And when there are too many apps which we don't close, then it becomes hot. The battery becomes hot. Similarly, when we are doing so many things, as I mentioned, in the mind and in the brain, so many thoughts, as I mentioned, 60 to 80,000 thoughts and so many feelings, this becomes hot. So to cool down this, we need to do something. We need to use some kind of cooling technique, So that's why these different techniques we discussed, and we are almost coming to the close end of this session. So yeah, with a final and the last quote is, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit, right? So this is Aristotle. He says, we are what we repeatedly do. If we continuously work on these things, then it's just a habit. It becomes easy to be productive, successful, and do whatever you want to do in our life and careers. So in conclusion, what we understood today is 4 keys, right? First was meditation, which leads us to mindfulness, becoming cool and calm and observing things in the right perspective. Introspection. Introspection helps us to know our strengths and weaknesses and go towards more and more towards our strengths and passions. Third was connection. Connection gave us the right relationships with the elders and with our like-minded people. And the fourth and last was, we know all the theory and we are doing the practice. We are now cool. We are now like a nice Mercedes Benz, but we have to go in action now. We have to take the car to the road. So that's action. That's a habit, So thank you very much. I hope you got some insights today, and enjoy your day. Have a mindful day, but don't go outside to enjoy, and be safe and stay safe and healthy in your body and mind, both. Okay. So thank you.